bullets and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, he's alive. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, he's alive. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, he's alive. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stay on this front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, he's alive. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Marching line, marching line.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good afternoon. Saturday afternoon, live from Harbor Creek. I'm not a weather guy, but can someone please explain to me what is going on? We had snow, and then it got cold, and then it rained, snowed, and then when Brenda came home, I don't know, right around lunchtime, it was raining again. So just be careful. The weather is just being really silly. So please, 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 just everybody slow down. We don't want any problems. But again, here we are, Saturday afternoon matinee. We just decided to do things up a little bit because we do the Wednesday night show. We don't want them to go too long, but sometimes there's just so much stuff we want to talk about. We could go all night, but we don't want to do that because people actually, I know the majority of the people in the show have to go to work. They have responsibilities. They got things to go and do. So we decided to move it over to Saturday. And if it works out, maybe we'll try this Saturday afternoon thing until the weather gets nice and it's time to bring the motorcycle and four wheelers and stuff out. That gets a little bit tougher. I got to sneeze, I think. Hang on. it gets a little tougher in the summertime because we get a little more busy. But when the weather's kind of yucky out, it's a fun thing to do on a Saturday afternoon, and just kind of like talk about all the winning that's going on. Of course, I have my official Kim Hunter hat on, and of course, this is the Brian Special Edition. That is Make Erie Great Again with a hat. They have been sell actually, because like I said, it's most of the most of the proceeds go to support the show, and of course we just cover our costs and make a few bucks, reinvest it back into what we need to do. Like I said, I had to buy a new TV bracket, $50. It all adds up, but it's okay. They're here. If you want one of these, make it official. It's got the a little American flag on it. Um, you know, 12.50. Get a hold of Brenda. We'll order them up. Gentleman just ordered up 10 of them, 5 blacks and 5 red ones. So make Erie great again. Why can't we make Erie great again? We're making America great again. Every time we turn on the news or look on the internet, it's getting great again, and it's just a lot of winnings. Now we just got to get Mr. Cash in there, and we'll really rock the boat. So yeah, Lou's with us today. Who's all today? I got Lou. We got Kim. Got a lot of people popping up online here. Let's see here on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you come in, say hi. That way we can see you. Because I can't see you when you come in the room because we have 5 channels, so it doesn't tell me you're here. I can only tell if you're here if you say hello, Matt. You're Thanks for coming in, Matt. It was nice seeing you the other day at that sheriff's candidates kickoff. It's nice to see some, oh, I don't know, actual Republican committee people to show up and support a candidate. I don't think there was anybody else there other than Matt and myself. Kim wanted to be there, but unfortunately, she was a little under the weather, and best to stay home if you're not feeling well. There's a lot of bugs running around, and let's keep our bugs to ourselves. We're a team and we're family, but let's not share our bugs at this point. We need everybody healthy. We got a lot of things going on. Again, it's back to let's talk about voter registrations. Because if you're not registered to vote, it's that time. Sorry, it's a little glary. Sorry, there they are. There it is. Sign and get registered to vote. You can go online. We'll get that information. We'll actually, if Brenda can find out and put the actual website where you can do this all online. But some people don't trust the online thing. If you want to actually fill it out, but you got to put a stamp on it, and then it goes right to the. It gives you all the information where to mail it back to. It goes right to Erie County Courthouse, and then the nice folks down there at the elections office, they input that information, and yeah, see there. Thanks, Kim. Vote for pa.com. Again, that's vote for .com. I'll take you right to the website. You can register it, put in your driver's license. You have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to have a driver's license. And let's hope that they can figure this voter ID thing out, because I think that will help us immensely. And this whole argument that ID is racist is ridiculous, because the Democrats are absolutely being hypocrites on this, where you had to go to a Kamala Harris rally, you had to show ID. Maxine Waters and her gang of hombres that were trying to force their way into a locked building were demanding that the security officer show his ID. Well, isn't that funny how they want ID and it's convenient for them? Yeah, crazy stuff. Can't mix the stuff up. A lot of things going on locally. We got local politics are really heating up. I love the fact that in the city's controller race, we have 2 new additions to the race for controller. So I guess Chucky's going to have to do this thing called work to win that, not just sit back and be uncontested. Miss Sam Flippo, she was a county employee, and I was Bud Brzezinski. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Got some interesting competition for Chuck. You got a person that's been a county employee. I think's been pretty reasonable as a Democrat. We get that. Ed's been a pretty reasonable. Hi, Linda. Ed's been a pretty reasonable Democrat through his tenure and living in the city and be involved in area politics, and that's what the city needs. They need if we can't make it go red, well, let's get some reasonable Democrats in there, and that's I think is what's really going to be the key. If we can't flip it red, which I think we have a good chance, we got Matt. He's running for controller on the Republican side. We've been chatting about how to get his campaign off the ground, and hopefully we'll be seeing some big news from him very shortly, because everyone's starting to get themselves announced and ready to go because it's almost campaign time. I think here in a couple days we'll be getting the petitions out, and that's going to be a huge factor on what we do in the city and the county is to get these petitions signed. What's that? 3D Chuck polling third. Well, yeah, of course he's polling third because he his ego gets the better of him. He just barely got on council before. I mean, by the skin of his teeth, he won, and then walking around, doing what Chucky does best. I still don't think he's the right guy for the right job. We want Matt to go in there. We want Matt to go in there and with all his integrity and schooling and knowing what the monies are about. I think he's the right guy. We'll have if he wants to call it, you want to call in a little bit later on, if we can talk about it real quick, that's fine. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. It's nice to see Chucky's going to have to actually do something and not just sit back and be the only one running for that and not have to do any work. I know that's might mess up his pretty hair because he always. I like poke fun at him. He pokes fun at me. That's the way she goes. But he's nasty. I mean, he just gets brutal about it, and that's fine. That's why he's not the right guy for the job. There's just no way. Fortunately, pick Ed because, but well, yeah, Ed's going to be a tough guy. He's going to be a tough nut to crack. I mean, really, he's been in Erie politics a long time. He's been that voice of reason on city council because he's a little bit older, a little bit more mature. He is that moderate Democrat that will meet you in the middle and not make it all about politics. And it's not woke, it's not like the rest of them. They're all, the more woke you are, the better, which, as you can see, isn't working out so well for him. And don't play that game. He's just there about doing his job. I've talked to him many times. He's good to have a conversation with. Knows his stuff, been around. But I'm going to throw my support behind Matt, of course, because he's on our team, and we're going to do everything we can to support him on the show, support him out there, getting things done, and getting people registered, changing people's registration on that vote for pa.com address that we put up there. It's on the main screen. You can change your party affiliation.
That link does not appear to be working. I'm going to get a different link.
Okay, well, then I'll take that down. That doesn't appear to be working. Maybe that was a local link they had up and running, but I don't know. So yeah, Brenda's in the background. Trust me, she'll get it up and running. Get the right one up there for us. So, anyways, a lot of things going on. I was talking on my social media about, of course, how can the chairman of the Board of Elections, Chris Drexel, be out endorsing candidates, Barry Wood. Now, I was talking to Brett Davis the other night. We were kicking that around on a phone call. He goes, "Hey, wait a minute. How is that right? Because when you were on council and you ran for sheriff, you had to excuse yourself from the Board of Elections." I said, "Thank you for reminding me of that, Mr. County Executive. That's a good point." Because Sam Tallarico was literally blowing a blood vessel out of his head because he came to a Board of Elections meeting, and I hadn't announced my intention to run for sheriff yet. There was rumors, but I hadn't officially announced, and he was, doing his, vein popping, spitting, anger thing at me because I wouldn't step off the board of elections because that's a conflict of interest. Well, isn't it funny, and not funny, ha ha, but when the Democrats stare down the barrel of the shotgun of, oh yeah, that's a little inappropriate to be the chairman of the board of elections. You prance around Erie County, endorse uh, a candidate for Erie County executive. Really inappropriate. And there's not even no rules on this, on the whole, if you're a councilman, you have to step off of the board of elections. It's just that was just the way it is. That way you have a clean break that they can say, well, you guys have access to all this information. You have access to the ballots. You have access to mail-in stuff. So you step off there. But when the Democrats get the reins of authority, and boy, they sure run as far and hard as they can and cheat every step of the way. And now they have the chairman out openly endorsed. It's one thing if he was going to their fundraisers and, keeping a low profile, but no, he's like 7 foot tall and he has to stand, of course, to be a camera hog. He has to stand right behind Perry Wood. So you see him and he's just rubbing our noses in it that he won. He's the chairman and he's out there endorsing. Way inappropriate. Why do you think they spent over $200,000 to take me out? I mean, they had a plan. They had a plan. Um, that board is going to have some problems, I think. No, you're absolutely right. Well, here's the thing. We don't know if Charlie Bale's going to run yet. As soon as Charlie Bale announces he's off the board, Jim Winarski, I don't think he's announced yet that he's going to run for re-election. So the minute he is announced, he has to step off the board of elections. So there's your two voices of reason. Ellen Showerman, she was just reelected, so she's not going to go anywhere. She's, of course, the voice of reason. But when you have Copenhagen and Pretzel at the helm, and you got lame duck Andre Horton sitting there. All it takes is the majority, and there's your majority. They've got it. They can do whatever they want. Just there. I was a little irritated about how they sent the printing out to New York. They blew the last election. They blew it, sending it to Ohio. They screwed it up. So they're like, oh, we're not gonna do that again. Under the watchful eye of Andre Horton and Pretzel. So now they're sending it over to New York. Let's just send our money over to that commie little town of state of New York, where the governor's in hot water. And I was reading an article. I don't know how much validity there is to it, that the governor wants the mayor of New York City's head because he just cut a deal. That was I really like. I hope I have a hypothesis on why that happened. That he was under federal indictment. Trump wanted something. They got him where they wanted him. Now the mayor has opened up his ICE centers and being cooperative with ICE. And amazing how those federal charges just got dropped. Google it up, look it up. There it is. So yeah. So what did you put up here, Brenda? Oh, she put up the link for, if you want to jump online, there it is. pavoterservices.pa.gov pages/voters registration.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Harrison also put it on your link tree page.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, he put it on my link tree page. If you guys don't know what link tree page is, it's actually pretty cool. I didn't know about it. That's why we have smart people helping us. You just scan the QR code, and that takes you to my link tree. And what that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tree of all the different links. There it is. Okay. Can't read it because it's behind the other one. I take the other one down first. Put the big one up. There it goes. So yeah, if you I know people are like, I don't trust that stuff and it's a scam. No, it's not a scam. That's the QR code that takes you to Linktree, and Linktree is a clearinghouse of all my different pages that we utilize. So he put it. He put voter registration on Linktree. It's a one-stop shop. It's trusted. It's not a scam. Not asking you for money. Just click on that. I'll take you to Linktree. I'll take you all the different links that we are utilizing and make the show happen. So Harrison Dunn, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Make it easy for everybody. So, Brenda, let's play some cool videos, man. Because like the libs of TikTok, we're a clearinghouse of cool stuff.
Hey, do you remember
So go ahead, play
4
some
months
videos for
ago
us.
when White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre insisted that Joe Biden had not been spending FEMA disaster relief money putting up illegal aliens in fancy hotels?
Former President Trump is accusing the Biden administration of using FEMA funding to support undocumented migrants. How is the White House responding to that?
I mean, it's just categorically false. It is not true. It is a false statement.
False, categorically false, not true, false statement, opposite of the truth, not right. Well, Elon's Department of Government Efficiency just discovered a $59 million FEMA payment last week to house illegals in luxury hotels in New York City. FEMA could not find the money to help out hurricane victims in North Carolina. Maybe a $700 check here or there, maybe if the American citizens were lucky. But $59 million in 1 week to put fighting age male economic migrants up at the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan? Well, no problem.
Yeah. Remember when they threw that pile of crap at us? What happened in North Carolina? FEMA went down there. Oh my God, we're struggling with money. We don't have the money. We can't do this. We can't do that. And people are like, well, wait a minute. You're sending money to New York. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Here comes Trump. Here comes JD Vance. What was it? The girl that worked at FEMA. She's the chief financial officer of the facility. She went behind this administration's back. I don't have to listen to you. Yeah, well, you're fired. They fired her. She got her walking papers. Goodbye. You won't defy the president. And they have not learned that he does not bluff. He doesn't bluff. If he says you're going to he's going to fire you. And if you're going to be that disrespectful and not listen, and let's take care of all the New York people, but the people in the red states are living in tents. And then FEMA's dumping tons of money out to California to replace millions and millions of dollar homes when the people down here are living in trailers originally in small little houses, very humble houses. They get squat. It wasn't for we the people. I know, Chuck Turner and our gang, and we put together a tractor trailer and we sent it down. A lot of people sent stuff down there. And well, who was the problem, Childs? FEMA and the Red Cross. Watch the Red Cross people would come after me. Because you could take a truckload down there, they would intercept it, they would park it and let it sit there and rot. They wouldn't even send it down there. So we, the people, had to forego the rules and have it donated to a private charity, and they dealt with it. But here again, big government controlling the script. Here we go. We got here. I forgot to tell you. Sure. See, boom. Make Erie great again. We got make them Erie great again shirts. Buy one of those. Talk to Brenda about ordering those. So yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. So now that the mayor of New York is playing nicey with Trump, his charges are dropped, and now the governor of New York is pissed and wants his job, and then the attorney general is turned around and filed charges against her for all her shenanigans, and even the guy that oversees the Department of Motor Vehicle. I'm like, what did he do to piss off the Trump administration? Well, then you dig into it, you read the meat and potatoes, because they're issuing driver's licenses. They didn't take a test. They don't have to study a test. They just hand them a driver's license. No questions asked. You can put your name up there as in a, that's fire department. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. So now here comes the Fed saying, yeah, that's illegal. You can't do that. Stop it. No, we're going to do it anyway. Fine. We'll see you in court. So these are really, really, amazing things. And of course, the haters are like, look at the price of eggs. How come the price of eggs have gone up? You haven't, hi, Brad, haven't fixed it. He's been in office, what, 4 weeks? And it was the Biden administration that had millions of chickens killed, supply and demand. And it takes months to bring that population of chickens back up. I mean, they grow fast and they start making eggs quick, but not that quick. So relax, folks. They're eggs. We're all going to survive. We're all going to make it through it. It's just an issue of thank you, Joe Biden. But of course, Trump's at the helm. It's his fault. And we barely got it 4 years down range after Trump was out of office, of them saying Trump's fault, Trump's fault, Trump's fault. Now he's back in office. Trump's fault, Trump's fault, Trump's fault. No, it's not. Nice spin. But yeah. Brenda, what else kind of cool videos you got for us?
Are here to fight back.
We will win. We will win.
Our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us.
The Department of Government Efficiency. You just remember, it is the Department of Government Evil.
Yeah, and if you really paid attention to what Maxine Waters was saying, what do they have on us? She really showed her cards crystal clear. I don't know because her gears are slipping or dementia or whatever, but she literally said, there's some videos that really emphasize what she said. What do they have?
AID
on
awarded
us?
$17.5
nothing
million
on me.
to fund voluntary medical male circumcision overseas. Does this advance America's interests? No.
No. No position.
I don't know what circumcision overseas has to do with America First either.
This is the ridiculous
America
stuff
First,
that they have been finding out of all the waste that we have just been pushing all this trillions of dollars. It's what good does it do us? How does it help us that some guys in some foreign country are circumcised that hate us? I don't know.
Sorry, I was actually trying to play the Maxine Waters one that you wanted.
Oh, that's okay.
I hit the wrong one.
It happens. It's okay. Just slide it in whenever you want, and I'll shut up. That's how we pretty much go. I just watch your cue and go.
You gonna let him in?
I don't have anything for you on that.
Would you like to tell us today that you won't let Doge into the Federal Reserve or have access to the systems and the data?
So I don't have any, we've had no contact, and I don't really have, I have nothing for you to report today on that.
Well, you know what happened at Treasury, and you know what happened over at the CFPB, and the people of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us, our bank accounts, everything that in our lives. So I want to protect it in the Fed. Mr. Powell.
There it is. She admitted it. That's why they're so pissed off. That's why they have been just absolutely blowing their minds that they're getting caught with their hands in a cookie jar about these bullshit projects that they've been spinning around the world. And what does it do? It's going to come out. It's just all kickback money, just like we found out with Ukraine. Every dime that's ever been spent for the Ukraine needs to be accounted for, because Valence, they're even their own president saying, I didn't get that money. I got a lot of it, but I didn't get all of it. So where's the rest of it? Joe Biden crime family and, the laptop guy. But don't worry about it. He's already got his immunity. He's already got his immunity to go back 11 years. Why? What is the Biden crime family hiding that he needs a blanket get out of jail free card from daddy after dad said he wasn't going to get involved. Bold face lie. And we knew that. We're not stupid. I tell people, I said, see this S on my forehead? It's for Shank, not stupid. We knew that money's getting kicked back to the Ukraine. I'm sorry, the Ukrainian money is getting kicked back to the Biden crime family. Joe Biden was on video joking about it. Joking about it. Can't make it up, people. But obviously it's coming out that the government, the Biden administration, has been paying. Now, these are things that we've been saying. Hashtag told you so. We've been saying this stuff for years, that the government's kicking money back to these medias. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're, and what comes out? They're spending millions, kicking millions back to the news entities. And I hope they dig out more. I hope now they're in. I heard, I don't know if you guys have read this or not, that they showed up at the IRS. Yeah. How about that? Guess who's going to get audited? Yeah, a lot of people seem to think. Yeah. Oh, I know. There's videos. There's tons of videos that it's in some poor village in Africa, and it has some NGO volunteer interviewing the poor people, like, we're not going to be able to eat today, and we're not going to get medical care today because President Trump has shut off all this money. You are not our responsibility. You belong to your country. We belong to our country. And when we have our country's finance kind of back on track, and we have a few extra bucks, maybe we can help you out. But you know what? Why do we have homeless people in this country? Why do we have veteran homeless population in this country?
There's been a break-in at
And then,
the
of course,
IRS.
here comes Brenton Davis.
Just kicked in the door and ordered executives to put their hands where they can see them. There was an ultimatum. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Those workers arrived today, Gavin Klager and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. And that force is building these. I call it the force of super geniuses, but it's building. And they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people. We need smart people.
Big Balls is making bureaucrats tongue-tied. What's this contract for? Terminated. Next up is NASA. Elon's nerd army is reviewing their spending. I have a feeling we're going to find NASA isn't all about outer space. If agencies can't justify their headcount, Musk's planning on slashing every department by 30 to 40%. If DOJ finds an unused federal building, they're going to sell it and put the profits in the piggy bank. Trump has his eyes on 14,000 vacant federal buildings. So if you want to live in an 80,000 square foot estate at the foot of the Potomac that's been collecting cobwebs for 6 decades, put in a bid.
I didn't hear that one. That's a good one. I mean, it's amazing. It's just like on the county level. It's funny. You look at the feds and you look at the county. When Brenton Davis took over, we went over the leases. I am shocked how much we spend on leasing property for county stuff, because we can't move downtown. You can't build anything else. They built that new wing onto the courthouse, and I mean, they're landlocked. There's nowhere else to go. So they lease properties out, and they spend a fortune. And when I was on council, we had some discussions about taking a county property, building. Why did we spend so much money on leasing a property to store, here as I roll my eyes, the Dominion voting machines? I mean, we had this huge warehouse. We spend a lot of money on leasing these properties. We looked at Pleasant Ridge Manor East. I mean, it was costing us $60,000 a year to have that old raggedy building just sitting there, 60 grand. And, minor maintenance, electric. I don't know why they had the heat on, but it is what it is. So we agreed to. We had an engineer come in. They did a study. I'm not a big study guy, but I'm not an engineer either. They said no. This building is so far gone, so behind the codes with fire and elevators, and the roofs have collapsed. Um, it was an old TB hospital. So we spent $300,000. We tore it down. By the end of my tenure, that money had already paid for itself. That's what government needs to do, is say, wait a minute, why are we spending all this money on a piece of property that does zero, zero? Now, the property itself is where the detention center is. It's a nice piece of property. They have a juvenile detention center there. Been there. They do what they have to do. But the actual building that was there was the old TB hospital. The county had it as a retirement home, and it was just so expensive to maintain. They just shut it down. Roofs collapsed. So this is the waste that we found on local county stuff. And the minute we started tearing and getting rid of this waste, and that's when, oh, you guys are big meanies. Why? We just gonna end up saving you guys a ton of money. That's $60,000 a year. We spent $300,000 a year, $300,000 just to tear the building down, and we'll recoup our savings within a couple years, and then we don't have to pay that anymore. And now we have a clean slate. We can, if we want to do something else with that property, we can. So yeah, I was shocked. That was one of Brenton's projects. He was wanted to build a building to facilitate some of these smaller entities that are leased into one county building, because we spent a fortune on leases, a fortune on leases. But again, we don't know what we're doing. We're not transparent. We're not trying to save the taxpayers' money. It's all bullshit. It's all just Democrat bullshit. So, Brenda, you want to play some more videos?
Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marcia Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise that said.
Exactly. And that's what they're pissed about. They are so pissed that what he made as a campaign promise, because the American people are so like, yay, yay, campaign trail, campaign promises. They get in there, they don't do anything. They drop the campaign promises. And then when I ran for county council, I made two promises. I would step out of the pension system, which saves you about $3,000 a year. And I did. I signed off on the pension. I bet you Mr. Cell Phone Guy didn't step out of the pension. I bet you he's making you pay for his pension. I didn't make you pay for my pension. Mine's already paid for. And the second one was I wouldn't raise taxes. And go ahead, pull up my voting record on the last budget. We sat there for a half an hour stuck on some numbers because I refused to vote for a pay raise. I said, I gave the voters my word. I said, I didn't get reelected, but I am going to hold my statement true that I will not vote and I will not push for a tax increase. Now, I'm only one vote, but we were able to bring that number down. And then what happens the next year? The new Democrats come in there and it's all tax and spend. Another pay raise, another tax increase. And now they're fighting back and forth about the court thing. Did you see Copeland on the news the other day? Oh, we're going to table that because we want to sit down with Brenton. We want to be civil. We We don't want it to cost the taxpayers a lot of money. Yeah, they're costing a lot of taxpayer money on these lawsuits. What's wrong with taking a couple bucks out of savings, balance the budget, and move on? Well, if you're like saying, well, we have to take 50, 60, million out. Okay, there's a problem. We got to take 10 million out. We've got a problem. They needed to take $3 million out of the rainy day fund, slide it over, and balance the budget. Let's go down the road. They've wasted more money than probably that 3 million on lawsuits and fighting with the county executive over these vetoes. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you. I get that. So, Brenda, throw some videos up there, kiddo.
First, I'm going to put a picture up that was sent to
Oh,
me.
okay.
This is the houses that were put up for sale in DC in the last 10 days. Oops, hang on.
Oops. Wow. Are those
Yeah.
government buildings or private?
Those are private houses that were put up for sale
People getting the hell out
in
of
the
mud.
last 10
Yeah.
days.
Oh, the people are taking, a lot of people were taking that buyout. He said, if you don't come back to work, you're fired. You go back to work, here's a buyout, and you can go. So these people are taking the buyout and they're getting the hell out of town. So just look at that. That is truly amazing. I hadn't seen that one. So yeah, that's wow. People are just saying that we're out of here, man. And here comes Trump. I'm going to make the federal government leaner and meaner and save you tax dollars. And he is absolutely doing what he said he was going to do. And that's why the Democrats are coming unglued. Yeah, gotcha. Draining the swamp. No, I get you. So if you want to call in, you can call in. Area code 814-873-3612. We can take your call and have a discussion, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And on the Saturday matinee on a really kind of yucky day out there. It's just amazing. Weird the weather.
Just out. It was a photo that was taken yesterday in the Oval Office. So zoomed out, it just looks like an ordinary photo, right? You see the president there with Modi, the Secretary of State, just a meeting. But when you zoom in into that door, what you see captured in that red circle is the mugshot of President Trump. Now, this is a rather interesting place.
It takes a real set of intestinal fortitude to take your mug shot, have it professionally framed, and put it in the White House. Now, I've seen some videos where military units have chain of command photos. President, vice president, defense secretary, all the way down to the company commander, That way you learn who your chain of command is. They showed soldiers replacing Donald Trump's picture. And I would bet you a frappuccino, foamy, latte, blah, 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 bullshit coffee that he used his mugshot picture for his chain of command picture to show the people that you have done everything you can to me and it still doesn't matter. You've arrested me. You've tried to have me killed. You've tried to assassinate my character. You've done everything. You're a convicted felon. And it doesn't just bar you from being an elected official. Yeah, Trump is. Yeah, and again, President Trump is talking. They're talking with Putin and how to bring this thing in the Ukraine in for a landing. And I'm telling you, if he gets it shut down, gets this all figured out, you watch. They will put him up for a Pulitzer Prize for peace. You watch. However, he won't get it because it's Trump. If it was anybody else, he would get it. But it's just like with JD Vance. I don't know, Brenda, did you have the video, a little short video of JD Vance's speech while he's overseas talking to these countries that are absolutely out of control. Nobel Peace Prize. Yep, I know. I say it wrong. Sorry.
I'll get it.
Yeah. No, you're right, Harrison. And if it was anybody else, he would probably get it. If he can bring this Russian thing under control, get this thing done, shut it down, put everybody back to where they're supposed to be. At this point, it's a no-win. We're not going to be spending any money there. It's done. It's a done deal. So them flying the Ukrainian flag, uh, having them all sign it in chambers, it's all for naught. You guys look like idiots. And I believe that's against the rules to fly another flag inside of chambers. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy out in Harbor Creek. But yeah, so JD Vance is overseas and he's talking to the world leaders. And they're basically having, oh my God moment with how these refugees have taken over their countries. They are. I watched a video years ago. It was in the United Kingdom. They had some Muslim leader. He goes, "We will rule United Kingdom." I'm almost betting you they're pretty darn close. It's just like our wonderful, representative from Somalia that took an oath to the Constitution, but spews nothing but hate, lies, and deception to promote her foreign little warmongering country of Somalia. And she came here with nothing, as she said it. Now she's worth millions. Yeah. Hi, Tina. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate that. So yeah, let's see who's winning today. Facebook's winning. Facebook's winning with the most people on Facebook and also of course YouTube. Island Mo. Oh I know. Very wealthy, by the way. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's in the millions, multi-millions. And married her brother to help with their immigration issues. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. She totally violates her oath of office every time she opens her mouth. And then people are like, how did she get reelected? Because her district has been populated with folks from Somalia. And of course they're going to vote for her. So there's no way to take her out by voting her out because she's stacked the deck. It's all pro-Somalian district. And then she gets in front of them and speaks Somalian to how much they hate America. Again, this is right back to the thing from Mexico. They come from Mexico to come here for a better life, but then we say we're going to deport the illegal ones, and then they start burning the American flag. Makes no sense to me on how you would hate the country you struggled to come to, but then you don't like the freedoms that you have, but you won't go back. And in Mexico, they're struggling to take all the immigrants back, and they're putting up. There's people there. I saw these videos. There are people protesting all the people coming back to Mexico because there's no place for them. There's no jobs there. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, there's some talk about that, Tina, about of checking her statuses and seeing if she actually did break her oath of office. We've seen videos. There's several videos running around out there at rallies where she speaks Somalian. I guess that's what they talk. I don't know what they talk there about how much they hate America and how much they have been trying to hate America. And these people come here, they hate America. I remember, I wasn't there, but in history, you go back Ellis Island times when you had lots of folks coming from Sicily and Italy and all over. They came here and they assimilated. They became American citizens. They learned the language. They helped build America. They have created a welfare state to where they come here and they get everything for free to try to build a little nest of Somalia world and have us pay for it. Who's the dumbasses here, people? Who are the dumbasses? Well, they've put the right people in the right place that are pushing in the right direction. AOC, explain to me how she is a bartender, gets elected, crying on the news, I don't have enough money for an apartment, it's too expensive. Within 5 years, she's worth $29 million. That is where we need to look. How did, see, look, I found this on the internet, it's not one of our hats, but I saw that, like, oh my God, I got to take this, Brenda, put this on the show. Make AOC Cortez, bartend again. It is the gospel. But she's worth millions now. Millions. Hates his country, pisses and moans about it all the time. And what was it? Her little selfie video the other day. Absolutely, I literally had coffee coming out my nose. I was laughing so hard. She was in there being all bubbly and everything, saying how Elon is the dumbest billionaire she knows. She said Elon was the dumbest billionaire she knows. The guy's a rocket scientist, okay? And you want to call him dumb? If I was him, she would be the top of my list to check her financials and how she became a multi-millionaire within 5 years. And even Elon Musk is like, how do you do that? I don't know how you become a $29 million in such a short time. His family worked on it. He's worked his whole lifetime to be where he's at. And I get that. Yeah. No, Marsh needs to be deported and buried her brother to get in the country. Oh, I know. It is. Tina, you're absolutely right. And this is why we have done what we have done to come together as a coalition to push back, because the Democrats hate when they get pushed back, because the Republicans haven't pushed back. I mean, especially locally, they don't know what to do with us. They absolutely hate the fact that we push back. We're in their faces. We do social media. We do the show. We have guests come on the show, and they don't like it. They hate it. I mean, there's they on a couple of city council meetings, they called me out by name how much they hate me. I'm just sitting in a crowd, man. I didn't say one word, not one word, but Shank. I'm like, hey, everybody, if you don't know who Shank is, that's me. I'm here in the back, being the smart ass that I am. Of course, that's hard to believe. But yeah, I mean, I get that. Yeah, go ahead. Brenda, I just got text 4 back-to-back JD videos. Play them up.
In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat. And in the interest of comedy, my friends, but also in the interest of truth, I will admit that sometimes the loudest voices for censorship have come not from within Europe, but from within my own country, where the prior administration threatened and bullied social media companies to censor so-called misinformation. Misinformation like, for example, the idea that coronavirus had likely leaked from a laboratory in China. Our own government encouraged private companies to silence people who dared to utter what turned out to be an obvious truth. So I come here today not just with an observation, but with an offer. And just as the Biden administration seemed desperate to silence people, most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking The government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat. While the Trump administration is very concerned with European security and believes that we can come to a reasonable settlement between Russia and Ukraine, and we also believe that it's important in the coming years for Europe to step up in a big way to provide for its own defense, the threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within. Shutting down elections or shutting people out of the political process protects nothing. I've heard a lot about what you need to defend yourselves from, and of course that's important. But what has seemed a little bit less clear to me, and certainly I think to many of the citizens of Europe, is what exactly it is that you're defending yourselves for. And I believe deeply that there is no security if you are afraid of the voices, the opinions, and the conscience that guide your very own people. Europe faces many challenges, but the crisis this continent faces right now, the crisis I believe we all face together, is one of our own making. If you're running in fear of your own voters, there is nothing America can do for you.
Vice President Vance's speech to the conference has ruffled quite a few feathers in Europe.
What did he say to ruffle them? I don't know.
He was talking about the freedom of speech and migration in Europe. Do you believe that European leaders have a fundamentally different view of the world than this administration?
Well, I heard his speech, and I tell you, you're talking about JD's speech, right?
Yes, sir.
I heard his speech, and he talked about freedom of speech, and I think it's true in Europe. It's losing. They're losing their wonderful right of freedom of speech. I see it. I mean, I thought he made a very good speech, actually, a very brilliant speech. Yeah. Europe has to be careful. And he talked about immigration. And Europe has a big immigration problem. Just take a look at what's happened with crime. Take a look at what's happening in various parts of Europe. I thought his speech was very well received, actually. I've heard very good remarks.
Wow. If you live within 200 meters, you're not allowed to have a prayer in your house. And if you do know about it, turn your neighbor in because you wanted to pray in your own home. Thank you to whoever you believe in, worship, hold dear to your heart. That's not here. And I'm telling you, if Harris would have got president, we would be one more step to that because they hate freedom of speech, they hate religion, and they hate us. Now, not all Democrats. I mean, I have some good friends that are Democrats, and we agree on more things than you really truly think. Now, it's the ones out there in left field that we don't know. It's water and vinegar, man. It does not mix. However, you get your moderate Democrats, they're close. I mean, we really are close to the center on a lot of these issues. And they didn't particularly like Joe Biden because they got flamboozled. They got flamboozled, and it took a long time for them to realize they got flamboozled. and we brought that back to a center. And we're going to drain the swamp. We're going to drain the bay of all this crap that's been going on for years and years and years. And people stand by and say, "Well, that's just the way it is." No, that's wrong. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Got a new hat too. Good supporter of the show. Comes on the show quite a bit. Gave me a hat. He says, "Can you wear my hat?" I said, "Of course." MOB, Mean Old Bastards. Good rock and roll band. They get it. Go on their Facebook page. See where they're playing. They're gonna be playing with Doc Holidays. They're gonna play out here in Lawrence Park. Just off the top of my head. There it is. Thanks, Brenda. That was good. So yeah, these guys are rock and roll guys. They really are. And they enjoy what they do. They do a lot of charity work for their community, and they love the fact that they're just playing and rocking Erie out. And that's why they asked me to say, "Hey, can you say a few things for us, Mean Old Bastards?" I said, "Yeah, I got to get out." I said, I told Brenda, we got to get out and go to a show. We really got to, show their support. They've been a big supporter. Brenda's got a T-shirt. I really don't care, Margaret. If you watch that one interview, or he was getting interviewed by Margaret, and she just wasn't getting it. He's just like, I really don't care, Margaret. So that's JD's new T-shirt. If you want a copy of it, get hold of Brenda. If you want to get one of, I don't have any of these hats, but the other hats, get a hold of Brenda. You want a Kim Hunter hat, or you want to make Erie Great Again hat. I saw this today, and I absolutely, literally just was laughing. Yeah, and it's just they used to just say Trump, 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 Trump. Now it's Elon, Musk, 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 Musk. That's all they do is they get their marching orders, they get their they get their little phrases that they're required to drill down on, and they drill down on it, and they drill down on, "Oh, you guys are a threat to democracy. This is a constitutional emergency." Stop soldier suicide. It'll be February 22nd from 1 to 9. I'm a celebrity bartender. I will be there at 8 o'clock to 9. I have like 3 events that day. So I said, please put me at the kind of towards the end, and they put me in the last hour, which I think that's a great spot, because it'll be 3 of us. So stop soldier suicide. It's from 1 to 9, but the kids zone is 1 to 4. And they got Chinese auction baskets. We got to finish ours up and get that over to them. It's next weekend. There's the official ad for them. I told them I'd talk about it on the show, just to say, hey, this is an important thing. There's the hashtag 22. We lose 22 soldiers a day to suicide. So that is an unacceptable. One is unacceptable. And, I know it's a great organization. Roscoe's is out here in Lawrence Park. They're military folks and their family. And they have a great wall of, it's a 4x8 wall that folks from fire departments, police departments, Army, Navy, Air Force. I didn't see any Space Force ones up there. Those are still kind of new and hard to get, but they have a memory wall of, you can put anything you want, military, fire, police, anything. So yeah, come out and see us. And then on Sunday, I will be at the Sunflower Club. I don't have a time yet. That's for the Fallen Riders. I'll be a celebrity bartender there for Sunday. The one guy that doesn't drink, I'm a celebrity bartender, but that's because, they know it's a boots on the ground thing. I care about our community, had a blessed life. It's not been perfect. I made my mistakes in this life, but you know what? I'm sitting here at 61 years old and semi-retired. I have the great opportunity to give back to my community. I've got great friends. Of course, a lovely wife that always makes sure that the show goes right. If you want to call in, please do. Brenda, if not, throw some videos up. I know you got some.
USAID has gotten a lot of attention in the last couple of days with some of these bizarre things that we've been, taxpayers have been funding. Mm-hmm. Now it looks like there are a couple media outlets that have been dragged into this conversation as far as USAID funding as well. Does the president have any comment on that?
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOJ team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
What a concept. Is it good for the American people? What does it do for the American people? What do they get out of this spending their tax dollars? Nothing. Politico has been bought and paid for by the previous administration. That shit's done. Done, and done. And that's the way it should be. They can't survive on their own. Well, welcome to a free market. Welcome to competition. How about making a product that isn't a pile of shit and people will buy it? Can I say that on the show? Yeah, because it's not the FCC and, we don't have those rules.
I am a senior
And
research fellow
I did
at the
some
Heritage
research.
Foundation.
I wanted to
previously served at the U.S. Agency for International.
PEPFAR saves lives! Restore AIDS lives!
Sorry, I thought you were
PEPFAR
pausing there.
saves lives! Restore AIDS funding now! PEPFAR 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 saves lives! Restore AIDS funding now!
I guess these guys don't watch the news. They didn't realize that PEPFAR was one of the many programs that did prove to be life-saving, so the funding was restored. Somebody better give them a link to, I don't know, maybe Fox News or something like that. You may resume your opening statement.
Oh, these people don't even know what they're protesting. They go there to protest to have the funding reinstated, and the funding was already reinstated because, the Trump administration is not heartless. They did shut the funding down, and they were like, okay, wait a minute, we need to put this funding back because it's really important. And they were smart about that. Well, here these guys and gals were in there protesting on an issue that wasn't an issue because the Trump administration already fixed it. So again, the left just making this easy. I respect their rights to protest, but there are rules when you're in those environment. It's just like when I was on the chairman of county council and I had to have people removed. They're still crying about that on social media. Well, follow the rules. You don't want to follow the rules, goodbye, because there's rules. But yeah, so I mean, it's just there's so much stuff going on here. That's why I want to do a Saturday matinee. A handful of people here and there, mostly on Facebook, and that's fine. It gets recorded on 5 channels, and that way people can come back. I know it's Saturday afternoon. Some people have things to do, but we just want to make sure that we keep churning this information and make a clearinghouse of. These aren't my videos. It's not like me just sitting here saying, well, this is what I think. No, these are from the media, from reasonable news sources. And it's just like the libs of TikTok. They just bring you the information. It's a clearinghouse of stories. We do the work for you, because I have the time. Brenda goes to bed early. I can just sit there with my tablet and find stories and put them on there. So that's what I do. And Brenda's like, well, I found this one. And you put up whatever one you want, dear. I don't care. Look at my hat. Joey, look it. See? Here, let me move the microphone. You give me a hat, I wear your hat. So yeah, there's Joey Assman. That's his band, Mean Old Bastards. We were just talking about him, talking about you. You know, if you want to get out, go to their Facebook page, get their schedule. They've got a lot of gigs coming up here, and we got to support our local music scene. We got a lot of good bands locally that do a great job. They do great cover stuff, and then they do some of their own original stuff. Um, yeah, great. Yeah, no, that's good. And thanks for coming in, Joy. We appreciate you. Like I said, between the videos, I was changing hats. I wore many hats, and your hat was up because I wore it at the end of the show last time, and then we put up. I found your ad on social media, so we just kind of copied it and we put it on the show. So, Brenda, you got any more? If not, we'll go ahead and we'll bring this thing in for a landing. You know,
I have a couple more that talks about some more of the wackadoodle stuff that they've been
no, that's fine.
funding.
Bring it up here. Like I said, we're at an hour. I didn't want to make it too long and not too short. So yeah, we're still good.
I uncovered over $1 trillion in government waste, with the State Department and USAID being some of the worst offenders. Let me give you just a few examples of what these unelected bureaucrats are spending your hard-earned money on. $4.8 million went to Ukraine's public affairs office in Kiev to fund social media influencers. Instead of protecting our own border, $2.1 million was sent to Paraguay to enhance their border security. USAID also funded a group of Ukrainian women-led designers to travel to the Paris Fashion Show. USAID spent $2 million on transgender surgeries, hormone therapy, and gender-affirming care in Guatemala. $3 million was spent to promote girl-centric climate action in Brazil. $25,000 to fund a transgender opera in Colombia. Was nobody in Colombia willing to buy a ticket? USAID spent $32,000 in Peru to create a comic featuring a trans hero to address social and mental health issues. $20,000 to fund a DEI program for a drag theater in Ecuador. $20 million was spent to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. USAID spent $6 million to promote a project boosting sustainable tourism in Egypt, since they spent $50 million on Tunisia's tourism. USAID gave $87.9 million to help Afghans farm, and incidentally, farm poppy, the plant from which opium is extracted. As of 2021, Afghanistan supplied 90% of the world's heroin. $70,000 for a live musical event to promote diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in Ireland. State Department paid $330,000 to compile a disinformation index to blacklist conservative media outlets. USAID funneled over $54 million to EcoHealth Alliance, funding the very organization linked to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the likely origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. Disgraceful. $15 million was awarded to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan to distribute oral contraceptives and condoms. There's still a $3 billion fund for Afghan reconstruction that I've tried to take that money to pay for other things that the government is spending money on, and yet there's been resistance by the other side to deplete that fund and say, we're done funding things in Afghanistan. This is just the tip of the iceberg. These are taxpayer dollars being used to fund ideologically misguided, ineffective, and unnecessary projects, thanks to the blundering bureaucracy, while our own citizens struggle to put food on the table.
Rand Paul, great guy. Smart guy, too. Doctor, by the way. And we can't make this stuff up. We really can't. This is the stuff that's been going on. Don't worry about it, folks. Smoke and mirrors. Don't look behind the green curtain. Don't worry about that guy. He's harmless. He's the harmless guy. And this is what these, and it's not just a Joe Biden thing. It's been they've been there a long time doing this stuff. And what was it? Jimmy Carter created the Department of Education, and ever since the Department of Education took over, our scores have come down and down and down and down. We used to be a contender. We used to be right up
The
there with
Department
other
of Education's
countries.
a big con job.
It's not.
We're ranked, so they rank the top 40 countries in the world. We're ranked number 40th, but we're ranked number 1 in one department, costs per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world, but we're ranked number 40. We've been between 38 and 40. The last time I looked, it was 38, and then I looked 2 days ago, it came out the new list. It came out at number 40, so we're ranked 40. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, I hate to say it, China, as big as it is, it's ranked in the top 5, and that's a primary competitor. We're ranked number 40. So if we're ranked number 40, that means something's really wrong, right? And I say send it back to Iowa, to Idaho, to Colorado. Send it back to places that, and there are a lot of Indiana. You have a great new governor. You have a great senator that Jim Banks just got elected. You got great people. I'll tell you what, Indiana is going to be fantastic. We probably have 35, maybe 37 states that will do as well as Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden. They'll be just as good. Then you have the ones that we all know about. It'll be the same story. But you know what? Even they will be good. Because you look at New York, you give it to Westchester County, you give it to Long Island, you give it to Nassau County, you give it to Suffolk County. Same thing you go out to, and you give it to upstate New York. So you'd have 4 or 5 sections. You give it to Manhattan. Manhattan's a little bit tougher for some reason. I don't know why it would be tougher, but it is. You give to California, and you go to various areas outside of Los Angeles, and you might have 6 or 7 different subgroups. But generally, like if you go to Iowa, you give it to Iowa. You don't have subgroups, you have Iowa. And other places that do a good job. If they do a good job, they're going to do a great job in education.
Well, there it is. You know, what do we do as Americans? We have a problem. We're going to spend a ton of money to do an impact study, and then we're just going to throw money at it. Except for when it comes to this administration, we're not throwing money at it. We, like Elon said the other day, it's like a weed. We got to go in there. We got to dig it out of the roots. If not, it's going to come right back. Rocket scientist. Dig the weed out from the roots. It doesn't come back. And I know the Democrats don't like it. I know some Republicans don't like how hard and heavy they're coming in. I'm excited. It's just like the border wall. Brenda will go to bed. I'll sit on my tablet and look up for new videos on how they're coming with the border wall, and how the Marines and the Army, these guys are all showing up down there, and they're welding brackets on there, and they're down there putting concertina wire up. You don't realize how hard it is to work with concertina wire. It sucks. Trust me. It has one job, and it's to cut you, and it cuts you every time you move. You slip and fall into it, don't move. You will just literally be cut up, because the more you twist, the more it digs. Nasty, nasty stuff. So if we would have been working on this, we would have been pretty well done. The money that they diverted off of it, and Sniffy Joe trying to sell it off. Well, he didn't do it personally. His entourage did that. No calls. If we're caught up on videos, I think we'll go ahead and bring this thing in for a landing, Brenda. And that way,
I have just one
go
more.
ahead, just put it up. I'm just talking.
It's a
funny.
Musk,
We got to end up
where
with a funny.
are you? Bring your
right
over here so you can see who's here.
This is like a bank robber trying to fire the cops and turn off the alarms just before he strolls into the lobby. We are here to fight back.
We're going to shut down Elon Musk's illegal operation.
So we will see you in Congress, in the courts, and in the streets.
Yeah. Well, he's not elected. That must be out of a new playbook. They must have added something else to the playbook. That's one of their new little phrase sayings. They're the go-to. If you watch one news channel, they all say it. They all say the same thing. You know, he's not elected. He's not elected. He wasn't elected. What was that little guy's name? Oh, yeah, that's right. Fauci. He had the power with a phone call and a pen to shut this country down, shut the world down, really, on what he did. He wasn't elected. Remember that little guy? And let's talk about all the federal workers. They're not elected. They make decisions all the time. There's different levels of management are allowed to make decisions one way or the other. But again, it's just one of their little trigger words that they must have a little table. They get together again. Okay, we need a buzzword. We need a trigger word. We need something to make the media catch, and we'll run with it. Constitutional crisis. He's not elected. What constitutional emergency is there pending? I don't know. I don't have. I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't have Elon Musk's brain. But this is what I'm going to do. I want you guys to type in what you think the constitutional emergency is, crisis. What you think they're trying to say. Well, I didn't see anybody type anything in because there isn't one. It's a made up thing from the Democrats in the media just for something to talk about on the 6 o'clock news. So, Brenda, if you don't have any more videos, we're going to go ahead and bring this thing in for a landing. If you want a Kim Hunter hat like this right here, get a hold of us. We'll get you one. This one's mine. It's a special one off. I can't take it off because my headphone's off. But it says "Make Erie Great Again." Brenda was experimenting, and so I got the beta. That'll be the 2.0 right there. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate y'all coming on a Saturday afternoon. We've had a great conversation. Lots of good text messages in here, and I appreciate that. And that's how and why we do the show. Just exchange information. There's a lot of things coming up. We like I said, we on the QR code. You know, I put up a QR code and a laser. Oh, I'm not clicking on it. Those are dangerous. It's mine. Relax. Unless you think I'm dangerous, relax, and that'll take you to Harrison put up the link to get registered to vote, or you want to change your party affiliation, or you want to get a mail-in ballot. We are here to channel information to you. We can't make it any easier other than the fact that I come to your house, put a pen in your hand, and help you fill it out. I can't do any more. We get you the information, we put it in front of you, and we give you links. Harrison Dunn did the QR code and did the link tree. Amazing stuff, smart guy. We appreciate what he does to help keep the show going and helps with some of the good, fun, technical stuff. I'll put that QR code back up. And then Brenda, roll out the outro video. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. Let's be safe out there. Watch the weather. It's supposed to get yucky.
All the things were gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Again, I always say thank you to my lovely wife for keeping everything together and putting the show behind the scenes together, sending me private chat messages on what keep my cues and times right. And of course, she has a headset. She can chime in on anything when I don't do it right. But it's a teamwork. It really is. And I appreciate everything you guys do to make this show happening. We're proud to do it. I don't make any money on this. This is just a public service to us, the people that need a voice. And that's why we do it. We appreciate your sending videos in. We appreciate your phone calls. We appreciate your text messages. We appreciate the nice conversations. And we'll be working together. Get out and vote. It's important. As we all learned a valuable lesson in November, your vote does matter. And don't let the left throw you off track. Don't feed into their baloney. Don't let the Democrats on Erie County government skew your opinion, because, like my sign says over my shoulder, we won. Get over it. Good night, everybody. Have a safe weekend. Again, tomorrow also is the 814 Patriot dinner at the Colony. You can go on social media, grab some more information. Sorry, can't remember it all, everything off the top of my head. And like I always say, Shank.